Hello everyone. This is going to be a sort of how to set up RTS engine scene preparation manager. Um, Thanks to Charlie for this because I was banging my head against the brick wall. In fact, that partial banging my head against the brick wall when I first tried to implement something like this was part of the reason why I got the fix done today that I did for randomization of the starting positions, which I will get into later. Because you're not going to want to hear me rev it on. What you're going to want to hear is how you get on and use the thing. So, if you haven't downloaded the Scene Preparation Manager code, and you don't have GitHub, fair enough. Just follow the link that's in the Discord channel and click on here and download the zip file. When you download that zip file, you'll get the contents of all of this, and if Charlie's fork merged my fork in, then you'll get what will be on this video. Obviously Charlie's in bed now. I mean, I should be. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, in the UK, that is, and Charlie's in the UK, I believe. So you might not be able to get the scene I'm going to be putting in, but you could go follow the fork and grab it from the scenes folder once I've uploaded it. I haven't uploaded it yet. So that's what you can do. Anyway, right, so let's get back to where it was. Dink. Right, so once you've downloaded that, what you want to then do, when you unzip it, you will get a RTSE _ Scene Preparation Manager folder in your downloads directory. And I know I'm long-winded with this, but some people might not even know where it downloads to. Some of you might have to unzip it, especially if you're on Linux. On a Mac, it'll auto unzip. Windows, I'm not so sure these days. But yeah. Once you got it from your downloads directory, drag it into your assets RTS engine modules folder, and then it will look something like there. Okay, right, that's step one. Step two, I'm clicking the wrong things again. Right, step two. I would suggest playing with this first on a default vanilla install of RTS engine. So fire up Unity, create a new project. I've created this in standard rendering pipelines, so I had to install the post-processing stack, which, if you don't know about that just gets around the post-processing issues. That's there. You go to Unity registry, and just type in post in the search box. It'll come up with that, and then just click install. The install button will be there, and that will save you a lot of messing around with setting up things, because we know there's like, it moans about the post-processing scripts are missing. It doesn't tell you they're the post-processing scripts, but for those that are still long in the tooth for this, you'll get to know why. You might have an issue with cameras. I did actually. So if you have an issue and you're getting red warnings in here, ignore these red warnings down there. That's to do from the screencast I was recording about 10 minutes ago. Then just have a quick look there. Just make sure that they match what you've got there, and that this one is there as well. Okay, and then that should get you sorted on that. What I also did on this one is, under the modules, under the Game Manager modules, I just deleted the save module out, so it didn't moan about those 5 scripts that are missing because the save module isn't installed. So some of you don't have it. So there you go. I do, but I'm not installing and showing you stuff that you might not have. So yeah. Right, so once you've done that, now what I did was, under the modules directory, I created a new empty game object. and then I called it scene prep. And to create a game object, if you don't know already, right click the modules one, create empty, and then type in some sort of silly name for it. Actually, don't type it silly name, just name it so it's, you know what it is. Then once you select that, this will be an empty game object. Go into here and scroll that back, go to add component, and just type in scene. Let's remove that. I can't have two on there. It does actually get a little bit funky. So type in scene, you'll get the scene preparation manager pop up there. Click on that, add that in. Now, the reason why I had to do that and not do it the same as, I'm just going to quickly say that, not do it the same as what's in the scenes folder. So like I say, when I'm finished with this video, I will put into my fork of the repo this scene, which is called demo_map random. I can't use this one, which is one Charlie's got on the repo, demo map _ advanced. It's not, there is a major difference between the two. There isn't. What the difference is down to under the modules. ScenePrepManager is also a prefab, and under that you've got these ones. Now, if I start clicking down through this lot, I've got scripts missing. Also, it turns out it's either a Unity version or it's a Unity version because it's on Apple Silicon. When I click on add a player position, I don't always get them created with the scripts, and it's to do with the prefabs not saving properly or anything like that. And yes, okay, you could go there and you could go and hit your overrides and it overrides all to save it all back, but remember that will also override every single time you've used this on another map as well. So if this works for you, and it probably will on Windows, it'll probably be fine. I do think it's a sort of read write permissions type issue. Possibly, I'm not 100% certain, but I'm not getting involved with that. Then just use the one that I'm going to put in that folder as well. Hopefully Charlie will watch this and sort of like, yeah, that makes sense. So let's go back to my one, and then so I continue through what I did. There is no real difference between this map and the one Charlie's actually got in the scenes folder at the moment on his Git repo. So let's go back to the module. So we've got our scene prep game object with our RTSE prep manager on there. So I'm going to delete that factions off of there. I'm going to leave this on. Actually, I'm not going to change this. So this will be preset up if you're using Charlie's one. If you're doing it the way I just did, which was to add the component and add the RTSE prep manager, player positions parent is going to be empty, so is the player start point prefab. I'll come back to those two. Let's do the player positions parent. So the player positions parent, you might have just seen that over here pop and flick up in the air. I'm going to delete those two actually. That one, that I just created an empty game object, and as you can see, I called it player start pos. I didn't want to name anything that was the same as what was on another map, just in case there was conflicts. So for this setting, player positions parent, that is the game object, the empty game object is going to hold all of these start positions. So create a right click, create empty, and then rename it what you want, name it what you want, and then drag that over to here, The player start point prefab, that is located in our new modules RTSE scene preparation manager folder under prefabs, and is there player start position. So once you've found that, go back to scene prep, go over to here. Now you can drag that over to there, or you can hit that and just type in the search for player start position, and it should locate it in your project directory. Okay, once you've done that, this will all be empty. Next step on the configure is your faction settings. So what you'll end up with is you'll have your faction types that you've got for your project. Obviously, this is a demo project, so it's got invaders and survivors. Select the first one, make sure you've got the type info there, and then add to map. And then what you'd want to do is you'd want to add your starting buildings and probably units as well. You don't have to add units, but you might have to have like the town centre first to start with. So let's just stick with the demo. I'm not going into what other people are doing with their projects. If you're doing something a bit more advanced, then you can work this bit out. Sorry, that sounded vague, didn't it? So we're using literally just the pure demo for this. So you go and drag from your building extensions folder, prefabs, the town center, drag that, drop that into there, and this integer field is the building health when it's been completely built. So I know the town center is 2500. Now, if you want to check that, what you can do is you can just click on that and it'll load it in here, and the max health there is 2500. Okay, so then you can just go back to there and type that in. I've done something funky, so I'm going to show you this as well while I'm doing this. So we're going to add another one, and I'm going to drag the house in to there. And what's the house health? I'm going to say it's 400. Let's just go and double check, shall we? Oh, look at that. See, I'm just too good. Let's go back there. Let's change that to 500 to 400. To 500. Okay. We will add a unit in. I've already predefined some unit markers on it, so let's add a unit in. So what we want to do is go down to our units, our prefabs, grab our villager, and drop him in. You could add some soldiers and stuff like that in there as well. I dare say by the weekend we'll have the resources. One of us will have the resources hooked into this as well. So then you could add all the resources in, so that it would literally be randomized based on the areas that you've predefined. So technically random, but technically not random. I think one issue with one game I'm not going to mention, with the update that I last tried and played it on, was that when the terrain was auto-generated, and this is an RTS game, that my spawn position, my command center, and everything was actually floating above the sea, and nothing would move. So I think having a completely generated random place to drop them on is in one sense a really good idea, but also I can see it being an issue, because how do you know that? You'd have to make sure that the second spawn point is no closer than, say, 500 miles away from that one, and then the next one's 500 miles away from that one, and maybe that one, and that one. So then I suppose there's a lot of algorithms to write, and that's not me. I like this way because it means I can actually physically see where I'm dumping them, and if I'm creating some spooky terrain with it as well, at least that way I know that those positions are going to start great. So the randomization of this is going to be a randomisation based on the number of start positions you've got against the amount you're allowing to play as well. I'll come into that in a bit. Anyway, so back to the Scene Prep Manager. Trains parent, you're going to want to drag in the train parent from there over to there. Now, I have been using Vista's low polygonal terrain for creating trains for ages. I don't know if this works with voxel terrains, which is what Vista is. I do know Digger and Digger Pro, which Digger Pro does, but Digger and Digger Pro, I've actually got both. Thanks, Uni, for your Black Friday deals. I couldn't use Digger on the trains. I've got another project I'm doing at the moment, a platformer game project, and I wanted to create some caves and some tunneling through the ground. So anyway, so I've started learning Unity's terrain manager, and I did sort of pick up some of Microverse's terrains, but I haven't picked up the massive bundle because the massive bundle came out after I'd already picked up the earlier one, so I'm not. So this is where you make sure you get a full retail price for your bundle, all your packages. So I don't know if that works on that. I can't see why it won't, because it's just looking for that position. I think it might be an issue with the snap to grid and stuff like that, which isn't working. And you know what? Yeah, maybe that's another job for another day. Right, so we've got our first one done, and we want to add another one. Select survivors, and then add that one. And we've got our survivors, and I'm just going to be really cheeky and copy and paste, and right click that, copy and paste. So that's a bit sneaky if you ask me, but it does work. Okay, player start positions. Right, so we've got our basics set up there then. Apart from adding our player start positions, we can do this. Now, this is one of the reasons why the prefab thing doesn't work for me, and it does. Maybe it works on Windows with the code fixes I've uploaded. I'm going to open up the one Charlie's done, and I'm going to go Game Manager, Modules, Scene Prep, and you can see we've got our indexes in there, okay? You notice that, but you also notice there's no x.y.z positions. I'm sure I did this earlier. Oh look, now they're fixed. This is one of the issues that I've got with prefabs on the Mac, so I just wanted to demonstrate that on how that was. So there you go. I'm going to unload that. The minute I unload or remove that scene, we're going to lose the positions from those start positions. Yeah, okay. Confused the crap out of me as well for ages. Now I know. It explains a few things with some of us not having prefabs filled out properly. Anyway, so back to this, so setting this up. I'm going to sneeze in a second. You'll have to excuse me. I can feel it. Right, so I've already got 6 on there, and they will all get added under this game object, the player start pause positions parent. So I hope you're keeping an eye on here. We've got 6 there at the moment. I'm going to add another one. As you can see, it's spawned up down there, and now I get an object reference issue. Let me just check that. Hello, you were working earlier. Oh, I know what I did. I shouldn't delete that script off earlier. Didn't add this in as now. We didn't add that in. I think that's because I was screwing around earlier. Let's just try that again. Yeah. Okay. Normally that wouldn't happen. You just add, and it would just add to them. Nuts. Oh well. Okay, fine. So we should have 7 down here. Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there is. So when we select our position marker there, so I know exactly what this is. I'll prove this in a second with a different map. So we've got out, and if you click that game object, you'll see there's a ground position. There's building markers, game objects, empty, unit, and resources. Now, oh, hello. And that's not right. Bear with me a second while I scream. Okay. I'm sure I've dragged over that other map. It's messed that up. While I'm at it, I'm going to fix this as well. On the, I'll drag this in anyway for the thing. This position, if for some reason you're finding that the start position on your map is a mile off, go into this prefab and edit this position and just stick it localized. You could put it center of your map or wherever you want. I put it to 10, 0, 10, so I know it's down at that bottom left hand corner. On the demo map, it was actually coming up across the other side. So that's fine. I have that ticked by default. We'll come back to these in a second. Actually, I'll do them now while I'm at it. Ignore that. Something I was playing around with. So got to make sure that these are all 0, 0, 0 positions, and we've got this script in here. That's fine. Not worried about that transform position or that. Not touching any of that. Okay. This is because I was merging in with the other stuff. Right. That you can leave alone. Buildings parent. That's that one. Unit markers is that one. Resource markers is that one. Position ring is that one. Position pin is the pole. And the top is the sphere. Above terrain transform is that one. Below terrain transform is that one. So it does pay sometimes to break and do stuff, but I'm glad that I'm sort of glad that happened, so you know exactly what's going on. Right, okay, so now I don't have to go and delete everything off. Obviously this one didn't have anything, so I'm going to delete that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's good. That's supposed to say there's nothing, something's missing. Right, okay. Right, let's save that. Because it saves everything back. And that's the thing with the prefab things as well. You have to save them back every now and again. Right, so technically, hopefully, now, add that, and we've got our positions. And there you go, you see. I was saying about that transform position, 10, 10, 10. Brilliant. Okay, I'm happy. I'm happy I nearly ended that. So as you can see, we click on that. We have no building positions, no units, no resources. Like I said, resources is coming. And as you can see down here, that's our position. So teaching you how to suck eggs, make sure you got your transform arrow collected so you can actually slide the bugger around. I'm going to drop him up there. Yes, I'm adding more to this map, right? You'll get this map when it's finished, when I've finished with this off of this video, all right? Right, so we've got that one there. As you can see, there's still no buildings. Now, if you remember the tech, we go back to scene prep. So our transform here is 45.9 by 10.06. Should we just round up? Let's go 46 on that one and 107 on that one. Right, there we go. 46 and 107. Oh, look down there. Look, 46 and 107. There's our position. Woohoo! Right, that's cool. Right. So before we go any further on that, we will need to do some bits with the building markers. In fact, I'm going to pause that there. I'm not pausing the video. I'm just going to save that there. I missed a step with the setup for this. You need to need to edit the RTS engine core scripts game manager file. That should be in the README somewhere. Completely forgot about that. Basically, you'll have a close text task like that. There we go. Yeah, that was what I was typing out. I was going to post that on Discord. Right, so on GameManger.cs, actually, where is my README? Oh, okay. Oh, there's an easier way than that. Work. Right, there you go. So in the RTS engine core scripts GameManger.cs file, you need to edit that. And around line 276, you need to copy this bit here. So let's go to round 276 for the GameManger.cs. And that is here. Basically, you will have this line here below, well, basically at this position here. So just copy and paste over the top of that. The reason for this being, and I don't know why, and this was what I got stuck with for a while, a cup of tea. When we have the scene preparation manager installed before this version, and we start and we come from the single player or the multiplayer lobby, the map gets built, and then we deal with the positions and the faction slots. What was happening is when we come into this function, we have a active, our current builder is valid. So this function here, this if statement doesn't get run. Basically what this does is it randomizes. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. No, this goes through and cleans out some of the ones that we're not using, and it randomizes it. So because we've got a valid builder, we jump straight down to this function here. It's called to this randomize faction slots, current builder data, faction slot index seed. Now, from a lot of debugging, I'll say debugging, there's a lot of echoing log statements actually. Our current builder data faction index seed is empty or null. It's null. Technically, it's null. There's nothing in it. So it would never return back random faction slots, which became a problem. The random faction slots basically just takes the list of how many we have in the game manager, and it goes reorders that in there. Then in here, further down, it removes. There you go. It removes the faction slots that's not needed. So think of it, you've got a 4-player map defined on the game manager. You're only sending 2 players from the lobby. Forget the scene preparation manager. You're sending 2 players from the lobby. When it gets to around here, it's going through going, okay, we've got 4 factions in the game manager. We only want 2. Let's remove the last 2. Now, if you have random start positions or whatever it's called in the game manager ticked at the bottom of that list, let's go quickly find it. Bing bonk down there. If you have that ticked, it would randomize how many you've got on here. So on the default it's 4. It randomizes that order, so it'll go, okay, because this start position initial faction entities is here, and or sort of 0, 1, 2, and 3 like that, and this is 3, and that's this one. So then it goes, oh yeah, that one could go up there, and that one could go down there. So, and that's how you get your randomization. I don't know how, I don't know why, but something we're not doing right in this script, or we are, but we've just not got anything available to pass this data over properly. I don't know. I don't know, to be fair. That's why I came up with this in the end. So if we're null, we're calling randomized faction slots. So it will randomize that faction off of the map on the game manager, not the scene start positions. I'll show you what I did with that, how we got that randomized. So it didn't matter what this was doing on the straight scene 4-player to 4-player with the scene preparation manager. If it was a 4-player map and you only define 4 factions in the game manager, it works fine. Including a randomization from the light testing I did. However, I wanted to have more, it worked the same as the standard demo. However, I wanted to have 6 to 8 or 10 even start positions, and maybe a 2-player map. So you're never guaranteed that you're always going to be in the same spot. And if you've got Fog of War on, you're going to have to go and search for your enemies like in Age of Empires 2. Even the NPCs have to do that in Age of Empires 2. That's why you get that little knight on the horse galloping around, trying to clear the bloody fog off the map. So then you know where things are and you can go and attack and go and collect resources. And that's what I want. So that's how this ended up. Now, because this seed index is null, all right, the other edit you've got to do in here, sorry about my rabbiting on, is go down to approximately line 360. Obviously, adding this in is going to make it jump further down, but around line 360, you've got this private void here. Basically, it checks to see if there's no, so if random factions is false, or, so in other words, if we've got random factions ticked, which we have, or require true, index.c list is valid. Hold on, we ain't got a valid index.c list because we wasn't passing it correctly, or whatever we're doing, so it wouldn't randomize up. And index.c list count is less than, so you're changing this to less than or equal to faction slots count. So this basically says, is it valid? Is the list valid? If not, does our index seed list count match the faction slot? So our lobby is passing 4 players. Our maximum players in our lobby for this map is 4. Our map has 4 factions. Those 2 there, these 2 there, here. From what I understand, index seed list count is the max value factions or players you can have from the lobbies. So if we're only sending 2, or sorry, I think that's the way it was. So I have a 4-player map. I want no more than 4 players. There's 4 there. I've got 6 to 8 start positions defined. That doesn't equal that, which is why you need the less than or equal to. That's the reason for that. So that works, and you don't get any errors about the seed matches don't match. Okay, so that's why we did that. The other change I did in the ScenePrepManager was I changed that around on the, I actually put a for loop in it in the end. So what we was originally doing is we was going through each faction slot. So if we've got 8 start positions, a 4-player map, where only 2 players are playing, what would happen is it wasn't getting randomized up. And then also what was happening is it didn't matter even when I got that sorted on the game manager, this lot, when we're running here, the for loop was basically just looking, okay, we've got 2 factions, we've got 2 players, let's set the first one to the first one and the second one to the second one, which is what it was doing. However, it wasn't, because it was setting the first one out of an account of, say, 8 start positions, and we've only got 2, so it'll go the first 2 that's in that list, or the first 2 that's read from the parent game object down, and that's what this does. So basically what I did here is, and this is why you have to set this up, which I'm going to get back into in a second about the game manager, is that when you go through the game manager, you need to set the transform in the faction spawn position. So let's get into that, and then you'll get with it. But we're going to come back to this because we're just going to finish this start position off. Sorry, I jumped backwards and forwards. There's a reason why I do that. It's also to explain what's going on, why I did certain things. If you watch my other videos, they're usually not that bad, I don't think. So we've got newly created start position, and we've just dragged it up here, if you remember, and then we click there, and yes, it's all logged. Good. So we go there. Now we want to place a building marker, obviously, so we'll do that, and then it's changed here, and we've got our building clone position. Now on here there is a script and the building index to spawn. This number is representative to the list of buildings we set up in the scene manager here. Typical, I don't know why arrays start at 0 or lists start at 0. Why can't they just start at 1? So if it's greater than 0, loop through it. If it's not, then it's 0, then don't loop through it because it's empty, right? Don't. So 0, 1. Okay, so what you would have to do before I did this video is that when you add a second building marker, which we're going to do now, you would have to manually change each one that you add. You'd have to increment this one. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't need to do that now. So when you click that, as you can see, we've got 2 there. And when you go and click the second one, it's already incremented. And yes, I did that for the unit markers. I actually did it for the resource markers, although that don't work at the moment. So once you've added how many buildings you want to start with, so we've got 2, select that one, and you need to move that transform to wherever you want it. So we know this is the town centre. Feature creep just popped in my head. Wouldn't it be nice to have that linked so you'd know that this one's for the town centre, right? And the next one is for, like instead of saying clone, why can't we add the building name up there? Like human town hall or orc throne. Charlie, feature creep. And we know that's the house, so I'm going to move that over there. Okay, and that's what you do. So when we go back to our building position marker, that one, we've now got those positions of where they are. And if you're paying attention to see that. And we're going to add our unit in. As you can see, that's just done that. We've got that one. And again, need to move the unit somewhere so you don't spawn inside the building or something daft. And that should have been a 0. Oh, let me check something. I did a bit of copy and pasting earlier. Wrong one. Oh, you muppet. Copy. Paste. Told you I did a bit of copy and pasting earlier. Copy and pasting the wrong bloody thing as well. Units parent, sorry. That's an epic fail, wasn't it? I like epic fails, especially when you fix them live. Index to spawn is 0. And we go back there, and let's say we added another one. That's now got a 1, and let's say we added another one. I know we haven't. And that's our 2, so 0, 1, 2. So there you go. So taking care of that for you. And if you delete those off and you go, oh, bugger, I delete too many units off, I'd better add another one in. It's back to 0. Okay, so sorted that for you as well. So nice. These are a bug thing. I haven't even looked at that yet. But we could have it so that when we clicked on add, that we could remove those off afterwards. They don't contain any scripts or anything, and you can delete those and get rid of those. So that's basically how you set up the starting positions and Scene Manager, and a bit of a background info into what I did to get the randomization stuff to work. Now, as you can see, we've now got we've got a lot there, haven't we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on our map. So now we've got to go to our game manager, and we need to make sure we got 7 faction slots. If I mentioned about what these names are, they're all previous dogs that I've had my whole life, mainly German Shepherds or German Shepherd crosses. This will be pre-set up. You can have the colours done if you want. It doesn't really matter. I suppose it does for testing. Let's just get some random colours in there so you can see it all. Let's make that a bit more like Jack was black and tan actually, so yeah, let's go with that one. Oh no, you want a lightish colour, don't you, really, I suppose? I do. I haven't done a red, I still purple. Do one for LB. And oh, actually that should have been blues. Right. Okay, so set the roles to NPCs. Leave his local player ticked. Just stick them on easy NPC type. Initial cam look at position. Now this is important. This is to do with how I got our starting positions against our factions from here. So just grab this transform and drop it in there. And you have to do that for every single one, and make sure that you do that on every single one like that. Now, what I would definitely do or not do in this case, as you can see, this is all preset. I added one more start position earlier, so we need to add another start position. Leave, and while I'm at it, initial faction entities and type specific leave completely empty. Okay, you can have one of the start positions is local player ticked, because that will just be for if you wanted to play this like this now, but you will get errors. I'm going to add another faction slot in because I want to show you something. In the data, it will already have the player start position transform. That's because it basically cloned the info from here. As you can see, blue, host, survivors ticked. So I'm going to untick that one. I'm going to stick that one to NPC. I'm going to change the color. Make it orange. Bart was one of my sister's dogs that was half brother of Jack. Same dad, different mum, same litters at the same litters at the same time. So we need this one. So what we need to do is grab that one and drop that into there, and make. Otherwise, it will mess up. Well, not mess up, but thingy. Right. The reason being, if you've so let me just explain why that's this initial cam position is important. I'm just going to re-go through that again. So the initial cam look at position has to be associated with the start positions on each start position. So for each faction slot in here, so it has to be associated with that start position. And the reason for that being, go away, mouse. When the game gets built and these get randomized up, this list gets emptied out. I don't know if you've been testing and you've had that selected and you've played the game, and then all of a sudden they've gone and some of them have disappeared. That is because they're getting taken off, so they're not sitting this, I suppose, is garbage control and stuff. When we go to create our buildings based on our positions, we are looking for a match between this initial cam look at position, transform position, and the transform position out of our list here. If we get a match, we stop at that one or that one. If it's let's say it's a 2-player, I can't do, and it's just these two. I have to ignore that. Then it will go, okay, our start position is 2204, 2226. Yeah, that's a match, right? Okay, build the buildings. And our next one is that one. So yeah, that's our match. So now put the buildings in. And that's why. That's how I managed to get it to randomize up. If you read through the code, probably you might get it. So that is the important bit, and that is it. That's all you need, with the exception of one other cheeky little thing. So we've got our. Actually, I might leave those collapse for a minute. I'll show you this when it's going. So I'm going to hit play now, and it's going to get messy because it is putting all of those in there. As you probably can't see that. Yeah, you can. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because that's how many we've got enabled on there. Okay. Well, I'm going to pause that. And that's how many we've got enabled on there. Now, something I wanted to have a little look at. I'm going to unpause that. I'm going to unplay it. Sorry. I'm going to play it again. Actually, I'm going to just check I did do this. Yeah. And yeah, I did. Right. Okay. So there's something spooky for you. If you look down this list, we have one building marker at this position. I've got to stop hitting that while I'm doing this. Right. At this position here, we have one building marker. And that's this position here. So there's only one building. But hold on. In the scene prep, didn't we set 2 buildings? We did. We set a house and a town centre for both factions. But you've only got one set there. It's because I like being a bit meany. So depending on your spawn position, you could only have one building, or you might have more. So you could be a bit cheeky like that. I don't know, maybe we could code in later on that if it's hard faction type, hard AI or something like that, or based on the handicap of a player, that they might start off with more buildings. That's feature creep 101, isn't it? But down here, look, this one's got 2 buildings, so this one will get the town centre and the house. And if we hit play, and then I'm going to pause it straight away so the NPCs don't get a chance to do anything. There we go. If we look in here, there's only the town centre, house, town centre, and you can see that by if I selected, I don't know, pick that one. There you go, that's that one. That only has town centre, and this one has 2, and that's that one up there. And you can see there's the house, there's the town centre. Now, if we go to the game manager, we have all 8 of them listed. Sorry, all 7 on there. Okay, which is fine. So you can still play with them and stuff like that. Okay, so the only other thing then to test, really, you have to actually come from a lobby. So that would be your multiplayer, which I haven't tested yet, but should still work. It's the same sort of principle. Or your single player. So let me just load up the single player one. So on your single player, under single player lobby, that's there. You need to scroll down to your maps under the local game lobby manager, and this would be the same for the multiplayer. And the demo map, as you can see, is just minimum of 2, 4. That's the standard demo. That's the advanced map. I did add that in earlier, but that was screwing around with me anyway. So what you need to do is go here, click add, change the scene name to the scene of the one you're using, make it a bit more known what it is, and description. Now our factions amount, as you can see, is 2 to 4, maximum of 4 players on that map, yet we created 7 starting positions, didn't we, if you remember right? So make sure that's there. Now once you've done the demo scene name, sorry, the scene name for the map you're doing, so we're going to save that just to be on the safe side. You need to go file, build settings. I'm probably teaching you to suck eggs at this point, and you need to make sure that that map, so in our case our demo underscore map random, is actually added to our build settings. Otherwise, when we switch from our single player lobby or our main menu to single player lobby, it won't know anything about the demo map because it's not in the builds. So oh yeah, hold on, unplay that. I just added that in twice, didn't I? That one, remove. Right, wonder why it wanted me to save. Right, okay. Sorry. Right, bear with us a couple more minutes, guys. This one's nearly done. Right, so demo scene prep, that's my one, my random one. As you can see, we've got a maximum maximum of 2 to 4 factions. This was a 6-player, a 6 spawn point map. It's now a 7, and we've got, it doesn't matter if that's on there or it's random. We've got 2 to start with, so we're going to hit that. I'm going to start the game, and I'm just going to pause that straight away, and check our console for any errors. We have none. A couple of warnings about save things and audio source, that's fine. And as you can see, we've got 2 start positions because we've only got 2, and they were random positions. Now let's have a quick look at the game manager. Now on our game manager, our faction slots is 2, and that is all there is there. Now I'm going to select that one. That's us. It's at this one here. Okay, so go back there. I'll do that again. That's us, and this is the NPC. See, the NPC is there, and that's us there. All right. Let's go back to the main menu. Single player. Let's add another faction in, just to make it more interesting. If you notice, those colours are overriding everything else. Let's pause that before the NPCs get a chance to build anything. Now, as I said earlier, this one's got the extra house, and that's how that is working. So as you can see, that's randomly generating up. All right, okay, that's the same tooth from earlier. I suppose if we went out of there and we did it, let's change that one. It doesn't really matter actually. Hopefully we get 2 different positions this time. There you go. How's that? That's random, isn't it? So not completely random, but that is completely random. So now we've got there and there. Okay, so now you're wondering, why can I see all of these points and stuff? How do I get rid of that? I don't want that spawning up on the map. It's going to give away the positions for all the other players. They'll know where to go start looking, won't they? And that's easy. I was thinking we'd have to do this in code, but it's a lot easier than that. Let's get to the scene. That one. Basically, just go here, select all of those like that, untick that, all gone completely. Save the map. You're probably thinking that's not going to work, right? Oh, yeah, little faith. Demo scene prep again. Let's add 3 in there, shall we? And start. And pause straight away because I don't want anything happening. 1, 2, 3. So we've got that one there. Which is hidden at the moment, but if I turn that one on, that's there. And this one, well, we know that's this one. And then the last one, which we could do just for shits and giggles, that's that one. I know that one. Sorry, my bad. Oh, actually, hold on. That was right, wasn't it? Right. That one is, that's that one. Oh yeah, that's us down there. My bad, not paying attention. Okay, this one, that's this one. Yeah. And then that last one's up here. Link on, there it is. Right. Okay, so I'm hoping that makes sense. So it's been a bit long-winded. It's an hour. I don't even know if this is going to actually upload to YouTube. I'm pretty sure I am on the 30-minute limit. In which case I'll have to split this into part 1 and part 2s, which you won't get until you watch the end of this one. So, okay, so hopefully that makes a bit of sense. There will be some other things coming in soon with it. Hopefully we'll get the resources so you don't have to predefine where the resources are. Obviously, if you're using wood and trees, they'll just be everywhere anyway. But things like gold and or whatever, or mines or whatever, that's going to be completely different. So I think that's all. I think I've covered everything. Yeah. All right. Good night. I'm going to go to bed. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Speak to you later. Bye. Thanks for watching. Bye.